The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically.
Peace to the tribes, peace to the tribes. Tribe. Peace and bliss. You already know what it is. Atlantis rising. You already know it's your knocker from the block of the Incredible Hawk. Too high for pigeon to fly, walk on water, and live in the sky. You are now live from the immaculate Atlantis Republic at Atlantis Republic. Don't forget to subscribe to our backup channel at Atlantis Republic. You know what I'm talking about?
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
Oh, man, I got some shit for y'all, man. I ain't done. I'm just getting started. I'm just figuring this shit out. Like, I couldn't stop reading, man. I was tapped in Shout out Supreme Chief Holiday. Shout out Ab TV. Shout out Aboriginal Power. My motherfucking brothers. B.A.B. News. BAP News. Go get baptized. The news you can use. You know what I'm talking about? Now, we're going to make this kind of brief, you know what I'm saying? Because it's really just a precursor to the Keys to Atlantis 2, which will be coming right behind this. I'm sorry if you missed one.
Because you're going to smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki of the bar number 9, but I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Tabernacle Sanctuary, because we keep God first in everything we do.
So having said that, we're going to go ahead and drop these jewels. Let me see. I'm on my Incredible Hook shit right now. Now, again, for those that missed one, this is kind of just like I say, just a little intermission to go with what we already been building on. We got the keys. About to give you your culture back. You know what I'm talking about?
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. I'm gonna tell you something straight up, the motherfuckers.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
I don't think that in my came out, said that power rose out the barrel of a gun. He never said that power was a gun. That's why I don't think I'm gonna do my thing. What I need is some freedom. What I need is the power to determine my destiny.
Give some shout outs to the tribe, man. Appreciate you for tuning in, man. Shout out to all the gifted and the elect. We on deck, you know what I'm talking about? Forever I love Atlantis. You know how we rocking. Shout out to my motherfucking brother Tyrone Ling, Thundy Media in this motherfucker. Willie Lilly in this motherfucker. Try. Hey, you know, Willie, I got an uncle that's a Lily. And he from Birmingham, man. You're gonna have to holler at me, man. Y'all might be connected. He know you're Indian too. The nigga black as motherfucking Marcus Garvey. Shout out Sadia Marshall, the Godfella.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
Okay, we got us a contestant. Tyrone Ling in the chat said Muslims of America is pseudo because most Negroes weren't Muslim till Noble, Drew Ali, and Elijah Muhammad. I guess he missed class, y'all.
Because you're going to smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki of the bar number 9, but I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Tabernacle Sanctuary, because we keep God first in everything we do.
Got a lot of catching up to do, Ling Ling. You got a whole lot of catching up to do, man. You know where you at, brother. Love, but you got to remember, we them hawks.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
Let's get to it. Shout out Copper Color Capricorn in the building. Tribe. Yeah, you get a solo. Everybody look at it walking in late. I'm just bullshitting. Tribe, I appreciate y'all. Now we're going to go ahead and get into this. Ling Ling will be able to catch up, hopefully, because like I say, this is a continuation. So let's just start reading. It says by 1503, we know, hold on. I said by 1503, hold on. Let me give you a little background. Let's give him a little background, shall we, Godfather? This is written by Sam Hasselby, okay? Give you a little background. He is a historian and senior editor at Aeon. He was a junior fellow at the Harvard Society of Fellows and a faculty member of the American University of Beirut and the American University in Cairo. All right.
Because you're going to smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki or some bar number 9, because I do not pray.
That's the same clone I wear.
Tabernacle, sanctuary, because we keep God first in everything we do.
Hey, just because I love you so much, we're going to rewind it a little bit. Try this, a little recap. It says 8 centuries of Muslim rule left a deep cultural legacy on Spain, one evident in clear and sometimes surprising ways during the Spanish conquest of the Americas. Bernal Diaz del Castillo, the chronicler of Hernan Cortez' conquest of Mesoamerica, admired the customs of native women dancers by writing muy bien vestidas a su manera aquí parecían moriscas, or very well dressed in their own way and seemed like Moorish women.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
It goes on to say that the Spanish routinely use mezquita, Spanish for mosque, to refer to what tribe? To Native American religious sites.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
It said traveling through Anahuac, today's Texas and Mexico, Cortez reported that he saw how many? 400 mosques.
Because you're going to smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki or some bar number 9, because I do not pray.
That's the same clone I wear.
Tabernacle, sanctuary, because we keep God first in everything we do.
Islam served as a kind of blueprint or algorithm for the Spanish in the New World. As they encountered people and things new to them, they turned to Islam to try to understand what they were seeing, what was happening. Even the name California might have some Arabic lineage. The Spanish gave the name in 1535, taking it from the deeds of Esplendian, 1510, a romance novel popular with conquistadors. The novel features a rich island, California, ruled by Black Amazonians and their queen Khalifa. The deeds of Esplendian had been published in Seville, a city that had 4 centuries been part of the Umayyad Caliphate, Khalifa, California.
Because you're going to smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki or some bar number 9, because I do not pray.
That's the same clone I wear.
Tabernacle, sanctuary, because we keep God first in everything we do.
Now we're going to have to get back to class, you know. That's all the catch up you get. You got to go watch one. It says Muslims thus arrived in America more than a century. I said more than a century before the Virginia Company founded the Jamestown colony in 1607.
Because you're going to smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki or some bar number 9, because I do not pray.
That's the same clone I wear.
Tabernacle, sanctuary, because we keep God first in everything we do.
You made me lose my place, man. We got to get back to it. says Muslims were part of Greater America from the start. Huh, bro?
Cause you gonna smell my cologne.
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
Including those parts of it that will become the United States. In 1527, Mustafa Zamori, an Arab Muslim from the Moroccan coast, arrived in Florida as a slave on a disastrous Spanish expedition led by Panfilio de Narvaez. Now, we already went over that in One Tribe. Well, you know, we just want to give them a few little keywords that they can go search, you know what I mean? Press 1. I'm about to fuck them up again.
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. I'm gonna tell you something straight off the motherfucking press.
Here's something you'll love to hear, tribe. Between 1675 and 1700, the beginning of plantation society in the Chesapeake Bay, in the Chesapeake allowed local slave masters to bring more than 6,000 Africans to Virginia and Maryland. This boom in the trade propelled an important change in American life. What was that change, Hawk School? Well, that change was, in 1668, white servants in the Chesapeake had outnumbered black slaves by 5 to 1.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
It says by 1700, that ratio had been reversed. It's been reversed, y'all. Stay with me. I got the timeline for you. It says over the first four decades of the 18th century, more Africans came to the Chesapeake. Between 1700 and 1710, growing planters' wealth led to importation of another 8,000 enslaved Africans. By 1730, an additional 2,000 slaves per year at least came to the Chesapeake. The American Chesapeake was transforming from a society with slaves — most societies in human history have had slaves — to a slave society, which is far more unusual. In a slave society, slavery is the foundation of economical life, and the master-slave relationship serves as the exemplary social relation, a model for all others. The first generations of Africans brought to North America were likely to work in the fields alongside and sleep under the same roof as their owners. They also, notes historian Ira Berlin in Many Thousands Gone 1998, tended to be eager converts to Christianity. They hoped conversion would help them secure social standing. West Africans brought during the late 17th and first half of the 18th century to work as slaves in Virginia, Maryland, and the Carolinas came from different parts of Africa or from the West Indies than had these earlier charter generations. They were more likely to be Muslims and much less likely to be of mixed descent. Christian missionaries and planters in the 18th century complained that plantation generation of slaves showed little interest in Christianity. I said 18th century. Christian missionaries and planters in the 18th century complained that this plantation generation of slaves showed little interest in Christianity. Missionaries and planters criticized what they saw as slaves' practice of pagan rites. Islam could, to an extent, persist on these plantations of American slave society. Similarly, between 1719 and 1731, the French took advantage of civil war in West Africa to enslave thousands, bringing almost 6,000 enslaved Africans directly to Louisiana. Most of them came from Futa Toro, a region around the Senegal River straddling present-day Mauritania and Senegal. Shout out to my motherfucking brother in the chat, Wood Yahweh. My motherfucking brother, Bright Mo Deezy. Appreciate that, man. Shout out to my baby girl Maya, Morning Star. We don't stop.
Cause you gonna smell my cologne. Instrument Yaki on some bar number 9. Cause I do not play.
That's same phone I wear.
Tabernacle sanctuary. Cause we keep God first in everything we do.
Islam had reached Futa Toro in the 11th century. Ever since, Futa has been known for its scholars, jihad armies, and theocracies, including the Imamate of Futa Toro, a theocratic state that lasted from 1776 to 1861. Late 18th and early 19th century African conflicts in the Gold Coast, what is now Ghana, and Hausaland, mostly present-day Nigeria, also reverberated in the Americas. In the former, the Ashanti defeated a coalition of African Muslims. In the latter, the jihadists ultimately prevailed, but in the process lost many compatriots to the slave trade and the West. Ayuba Suleiman Diallo is the best known Muslim of 18th century North America. He was of the Fulbe, an Islamic people of West Africa. As early as the 16th century, European traders enslaved many Fulbe, sending them to be sold in America. Diallo was born in Bundu, an area between the Senegal and Gambia rivers under an Islamic theocracy. All right. He was captured by a British slave trader in 1731 and eventually sold to Maryland slave owner. All right. Stay with me. See, because he was just sailing and he was grabbed up because we doing trade. We in the water with it. It's Atlantis. The river gods.
The birds of prey are the owl, the vulture, the eagle, and the hawk. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
Shout out my brother Godfellow. Salute to your baby girl, man. September on the 25th. Tribe. That's what I'm talking about. Be fruitful and multiply.
Cause you gonna smell my cologne. Instrument Yaki on some bar number 9. Cause I do not play.
That's same phone I wear.
Tabernacle sanctuary. Cause we keep God first in everything we do.
In Angelican, are we talking about 1731? I don't want to lose you. An Anglican missionary recognized Diallo writing Arabic and offered him wine to test if he was a Muslim. Press 1. Later, a British lawyer who wrote an account of Diallo's enslavement and transport to Maryland angelicized his first name, Ayuba, to Job, and his surname, Suleiman, to Ben Solomon. In this way, Ayuba Suleiman became Job Ben Solomon. The Slave Quran by Ayuba Suleiman Diallo, courtesy Dar El Niemer Collection, Beirut, 1700, nigga. It said, in such fashion, the experience of enslavement and passage to America saw many Arabic names. I said many Arabic names angelicized, Quranic names rendered into something familiar from the King James Bible. Musa became Moses. Ibrahim became Abraham. Ayuba became Jacob or Job. Daud became David. Suleiman became Suleiman, and so on. Toni Morrison drew on the history of Islamic naming practices in America in her novel, Song of Solomon, 1977. The title of the novel comes from a folk song that holds clues to the history of its protagonist, Milkman Dead, and his family. The fourth verse of the song begins Solomon and Raina, Bilali, Shalut, Yoruba, Medina, Muhammad too. These names came from African Muslims enslaved in Virginia, Maryland, Kentucky, the Carolinas, and elsewhere in America. The Song of Solomon, in other words, was also and might have first been the Song of Suleiman.
Cause you gonna smell my cologne, intimate yappy, on some bar number 9, but I do not play.
That's simple.
Oh yeah, you heard it right. We ain't running it back. We got too much to tell them. It says renaming slaves, sometimes in derogatory or jesting ways, was an important tool of planter authority and rarely neglected. I said, and rarely neglected. Nevertheless, across North America, Arabic names remain part of the historical record. Louisiana court records of the 18th and 19th century, that means 17 and 1800, nigga. I ain't even done. Louisiana court records of the 18th and 19th century show. I got the other camera away. Proceedings related to Al-Mansur, Suman, Ahmadit, Fatima, Yassin, Musa, Bakari, Mamari, and others. Court records from the 19th century Georgia detail legal proceedings involving Selim, Bilali, Fatima, Ishmael, Alik, Musa, and others. Nubal Puckett, a 20th century sociologist, spent a lifetime collecting ethnographic material about Afro-American cultural life. In his Black Names in America, Origins and Usage, Puckett documented more than 150 common Arabic names among those of African descent in the South.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
He was really nothing but an antisocial gangster.
He is a sort of gangster, you know, because this is a gangster story, but a gangster with a difference because this is a gangster with a conscience.
I don't even...
Sometimes an individual had both an Anglo or a slave name serving for official purposes while the Arabic prevailed in practice. Ain't that what we do now, my nigga?
Cause you gonna smell my cologne, intimate yappy, on some bar number 9, but I do not play.
That's Central and I
Yes, tabernacle, sanctuary, cause we keep God first in everything we do.
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
Yeah, we them hawks. They gonna have a lot of catching up to do after this, Godfather. And I'm just getting warmed up. It's difficult to know what extent the persistence of Arabic names related to continued religious practice or identity, but it seems unlikely to be totally disconnected. A 1791 Georgia newspaper advertisement for a runaway slave example read, "New Negro fella called Jeffrey or Ibrahim." Given the careful control that slave owners exerted over naming, there must have been many called Jeffrey who were really Ibrahim. Many women who called Massey who were actually Masuma, and so on. Lorenzo Dow Turner, a mid-20th century scholar of Gola, a Creole language spoken on the Sea Islands of America's southeastern coast, documented about 150 names of Arabic origin relatively common on the Sea Islands alone. They include Akbar, Ali, Amina, Hamid, and many others. On plantations in the early 19th century, Carolina's Mustafa was a popular name. Arabic names do not necessarily make one a Muslim, at least not in the Maghreb or Levant, where Arabs are Christians and Jews too. But it was the spread of Islam that brought Arabic to West Africa. So these African and Afro-American Aminas and Akbars or at least their parents or grandparents were almost surely Muslims.
Because you're going to smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki on the bar number 9. Because I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Tabernacle, sanctuary. Because we keep God first in everything we do.
Hey, Ling Ling, this Hawk School for the gifted and elect, my brother. We don't do no conjecture. We don't do no conspiracies. You know what I'm talking about? This is the Republic of Atlantis, my nigga. You know what I'm talking about?
The birds of prey are the owl, the vulture, the eagle, and the hawk. Hawks and vultures are often...
You can't be talking out, man, when you ain't caught up in Hawk School, man. You're going to make yourself look bad, brother, because, you know, we already covered this. We're moving on. You know what I'm talking about? We on the other formulas. Press 1. Hey, man, I remember I used to go to chemistry class. I'd be in that motherfucker, bro. And I was like, God damn, boy, I missed one day of this motherfucker. I don't know what the fuck going on. Hawk School like that.
Because you're going to smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki on the bar number 9. Because I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Tabernacle, sanctuary. Because we keep God first in everything we do.
It says, out of fear. I said, out of fear. Spanish authorities had tried to ban Muslim slaves. I said, ban Muslim slaves from their early American settlements. In the more established and secure slave society of 18th and 19th century, Anglo-America, some planters preferred them. In both cases, the reasoning was the same. Muslims stood apart. I said the reasoning was the same. Muslims stood apart. Possessed authority and exerted influence. Press 1.
The birds of prey are the owl, the vulture, the eagle, and the hawk. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
He was really nothing but an antisocial gangster.
He is a sort of gangster, you know, because this is a gangster story. But a gangster with a difference, because this is a gangster with a conscience.
I don't need no gun to do my thing. Mao Zedong said that power grows out the barrel of a gun. He never said the power was a gun. That's why I don't need no gun to do my thing. What I need is freedom. What I need is power to determine my destiny.
Let's get some diamonds on here, man. I don't think they would know, man. One publication, Practical Rules for Management and Medical Treatment of Negro Slaves in Sugar Colonies, 1803, focused on the West Indies. Advised that Muslims are, and I quote, excellent for the care of cattle and horses and for domestic service, but little qualified for the ruder labors of field, to which they never ought to be applied. The author noted that on the plantations, many of them converse in Arabic language.
Cause you gonna smell my cologne, intimate yakin, on the bar number 9, cause I do not play.
That's safe on our way.
Tabernacle, sanctuary, cause we keep God first in everything we do.
Oh, we fucking them up, man. We fucking them up. We done already went back 500 years, man, on part 1, man. If a goddamn half a millennia ain't enough to tell you what your people was doing, I don't know how far you want to go back, my nigga. What you want to goddamn, you want to be a Neanderthal, my nigga? This is Atlantis.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
Cause you gonna smell my cologne, intimate yakin, on the bar number 9, cause I do not play.
That's safe on our way.
Tabernacle, sanctuary, cause we keep God first in everything we do.
This is Atlantis. If I'd have known you was gonna be in here, Ling Ling, in the chat, I would have brought my Spartan Jeff off. You know what I mean? We'll put it on the next one, man, because it's niggas' feelings gonna be hurt after this one, tribe. I ain't even got nowhere yet. You know what I mean? I ain't even got to the shit that hurt. You know, but that medicine, man. You got to take your medicine. Atlantis is rising. Rising. Rising.
That's safe on our way.
Tabernacle, sanctuary, because we keep God first in everything we do.
An early 19th century Georgia slave owner who claimed to represent an enlightened approach to slavery advocated making professors of the Muhammad religion. Huh, bro? An early 19th century Georgia slave owner who claimed to represent an enlightened approach to slavery advocating making professors of the Mohammedan religion into drivers or influential Negroes on plantations.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
Yeah, we can't be going backwards, y'all, because then they ain't gonna want to watch the other one. Niggas already still in Atlantis sauce. Here, let's help them breathe underwater, shall we?
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures.
On the bar number 9, because I do not play.
That's safe on our way.
Tabernacle, sanctuary, because we keep God first in everything we do.
It's the river gods, man. Now, please stop distracting the class. We have a lot to learn today. Put some ones in the chat if you hear me loud and clear. And if you're from Atlantis, you already know what I'm talking about. Let me see them ones. We don't need no guns. We already won.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
Let me reiterate that last paragraph, and I'm going to just keep it moving. It says an early 19th century Georgia slave owner who claimed to represent an enlightened approach to slavery, advocating making professors of the Muhammad religion into drivers or influential Negroes on plantations. He claimed that they would exhibit integrity to their masters. He and others cited instances of Muslim slaves siding with the Americans against the British in the War of 1812. Some Muslim slaves in 19th century America had themselves been slave owners. 19th century, does that mean 1800s, y'all? Teachers or military officers in Africa? Ibrahim Abdul Rahman was a colonel in the army of his father Ibrahim Sori, an emir or governor in Futa Jalon in what is now Guinea. In 1788, at age 26, Al-Rahman was captured in war, purchased by British traders, and transported to America.
Because you're going to smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki on some bar number 9, because I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Tabernacle sanctuary, because we keep God first in everything we do.
So that's 1788. He was captured in war, right, y'all? Let me see. Let me check someone. Shit ain't adding up. 1788. They grabbed my brother up. Let me see. Cause he a Moor for sure, ain't he, y'all? Press 1. By definition, right?
Because you're going to smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki on some bar number 9, because I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Tabernacle sanctuary, because we keep God first in everything we do.
So, what about that treaty? Who y'all got a treaty with?
The birds of prey are the owl, the vulture, the eagle, and the hawk. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
He was really nothing but an antisocial gangster.
He is a sort of gangster, you know, because this is a gangster story, but a gangster with a difference because this is a gangster with a conscience.
I don't need no gun to do my thing. Mao Zedong said that power grows out the barrel of a gun. He never said that power grows, you know? That's why I don't need a gun to do my thing. What I'm this power to be done to my destiny.
I digress. Where was I? In 1788, at age 26, Al-Rahman was captured in war, purchased by British traders, and transported to America. Al-Rahman spent nearly 40 years picking cotton in Natchez, Mississippi. Thomas Foster, his owner, called him Prince.
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. I'm gonna tell you something straight off the motherfucking press.
And you know, I actually think I have a picture, and I'll see if I can pull it up for the next live stream. But I have the actual newspaper clipping in it, and it has Runaway Prince. Could have been another nigga, but that makes it even more powerful. In 1826, through an unlikely chain of events, Al-Rahman came to the attention of the American Colonization Society. This society was organized for the goal of deporting people of African descent in the U.S. back to Africa. Comprised of many of the country's leading philanthropists and some of its most powerful politicians, the ACS combined versions of both white nationalism and Christian universalism. For more than 2 years, the ACS pressured Foster, who finally agreed to free Al-Rahman, but refused to free his family. In an attempt to raise money to buy his family's freedom, Al-Rahman went to the free cities in the northern U.S., where he busted friend-raising events and parades, wearing Moorish costume and writing Al-Fatiha, the opening of the Quran, on pieces of paper for donors and leading them to believe in what was the Lord's Prayer. Huh, bruh?
Cause you gonna smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki on the bar number 9. Cause I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Tabernacle, sanctuary. Cause we keep God first in everything we do.
Hey.
We don't really want to give away too much because we got so much to give you. It's got to be, in rations, though. You subject to goddamn walk away from the table throwing up off this shit over here. This shit rich. Press 1. Hey, you know what's funny, y'all, is I had like 40 motherfuckers in the chat, and as soon as I got down in the live stream, I had got down 250 views. How'd that happen?
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
Let's get back to this dream killer shit that I do. Bully Slayer. Now live with the Incredible Hawk if you just tuned in. Broadcasting live from the Immaculate Republic of Atlantis. This is Hawk School for the gifted and the elect. Oh, man. Yeah, so, I be, y'all, I tap in with, the tribe, and I be on the live streams and shit. Just hawking. But 9 times out of 10, tell you the truth, why niggas just be running their motherfucking mouths, man? Not my niggas. Them other motherfuckers. Bro, I straight be reading a motherfucking book, bro. Yeah, nigga. You fucked up. I be busy over here, bro. I seen a nigga on Chief Channel say, nigga, monetizing their channel. Nigga, give $3 motherfucking off of one of these motherfucking videos, dog. Well, my time hella precious, my nigga. Straight up. My tribe thick without y'all. And I'm grateful. And that's what keep me working, because I'm on the love path.
Cause you gonna smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki on the bar number 9. Cause I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Tabernacle, sanctuary. Cause we keep God first in everything we do.
Oh, yeah, man. We fucking them up. We frying niggas' brains. Niggas gonna experience major cognitive dissonance off of this series, bro. This for the whole motherfucking nation, bro. We giving you your culture back. This is Atlantis. We got the keys.
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. 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 I'm gonna tell you something straight off the motherfuckers.
I'm gonna show you where it all went left. But this is just a little trip to Mauritania. Al-Rahman was a Muslim, and he prayed as a Muslim. When he met with leaders of the ACS, he told them he was a Muslim. Yet Thomas Gallaudet, a prominent Yale-educated evangelical and education activist, gave Al-Rahman a Bible in Arabic and asked that they pray together. Hey man, this shit is so deep, Godfather. I can't even sleep, man. Straight up. Like I couldn't even sleep, bro. I just read and read. Bro, I got so many links up. I had to delete so many tabs, bro. Like I just keep going. I'm a hawk, nigga. I just be soaring and soaring. You know how fast you move through the air at these motherfucking elevations?
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
He was really nothing but an antisocial gangster.
He is a sort of gangster, you know, because this is a gangster story, but a gangster with a difference because this is a gangster with a conscience.
I don't need to.
I said Al-Rahman was a Muslim and he prayed as a Muslim. When he met with the leaders of the ACS, he told them he was a Muslim. Yet Thomas Gallaudet, a prominent Yale-educated evangelical and education activist, gave Al-Rahman a Bible in Arabic and asked that they pray together. I had to say it again. And you know, we don't say all the extra shit because this is Hawk School for the Gifted Elect and all my niggas in the chat woke. You know what I'm saying? We big motherfucking woke. You know what I mean? So we ain't got to tell you that means the white boy already had the Quran in Arabic when the nigga pulled up. What this, 1803, correct me if I'm wrong?
Cause you gonna smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki on the bar number 9, but I do not pray.
That's the same clone I wear.
Tabernacle, sanctuary, cause we keep God first in everything we do. Cause you gonna smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki.
Holding out to the prospect of transport to Africa and gainful employment, Arthur Tappan, America's leading philanthropist, pressured Al-Rahman to become a Christian missionary and to help extend the Tappan brothers' lucrative commercial empire into Africa. The African Repository and Colonial Journal, the ACS magazine, described how Al-Rahman would become the chief pioneer of civilization to unenlightened Africa. They saw him planting the cross of the Redeemer upon the furthermost mountains of Kong. This, in capsule form, was the Puritan effect at work. First, Al-Rahman's religion and self-identification was denied. Second, powerful institutions specializing in writing, record keeping, publishing, and education, essential technical skills in crafting history into the past, acted to misrepresent him. The details of Al-Rahman's story might be unusual, but his experience as an American Muslim, facing an Anglo-Protestant monopoly bent on manufacturing a, quote, Christian country is not. We did tell him we got this from Harvard, didn't we, y'all?
Because you're going to smell my cologne. Issey Miyake on some bar number 9, because I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Oh, it gets better. It gets better, tribe. I told you I'm on a love path. I'm fucking them up. I'm fucking them up. Rewind that back for all my niggas in the back. The details of Al-Rahman's story might be unusual, but his experience as an American Muslim facing an Anglo-Protestant monopoly bent on manufacturing a Christian country is not. Islam developed in part to exist above the great linguistic and cultural differences of Asia and Africa. Al-Rahman spoke 6 languages. I said Al-Rahman spoke 6 languages. Anglo-American evangelical Protestantism is, by contrast, a younger, narrower religion. It took shape in the culturally circumcised region of the North Atlantic and in a dynamic relationship with both capitalism and nationalism. It aims not at transcending heterogeneity, goddamn, but rather, as Garlett and Tappan were attempting with Al-Rahman, to homogenize. How many people shared Al-Rahman's basic experience? How many Muslims were there in America between, say, 1500 and 1900? How many in North America? Sylviane A. Diouf is the great historian of the subject in what is probably a conservative figuring. She writes in Servants of Allah 1998, there were hundreds of thousands of Muslims in... Let me... There were hundreds of thousands of Muslims in America. That may be all we can say about the numbers and estimates. Of the 10 million or more enslaved Africans sent to the New World, more than 80% went to the Caribbean or Brazil. Oh man, we killing these niggas right now. We killing these niggas right now. And this ain't even the good shit. Like, man, all praise due to the Most High for making us the most fly, cause, bro, he done gave me, bro, I done got the downloads, bro.
The birds of prey are the owl, the vulture, the eagle, and the hawk. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
And you know, I don't want anybody that could get confused, because when they say Moor is just a description of these people from these areas, but Moors doesn't necessarily denote Muslims. And as you see, our Moorish brother in 1788 was getting grabbed up on the same waters that, quote unquote, the Moorish Empire had a treaty on, correct?
Because you're going to smell my cologne. Issey Miyake on some bar number 9, because I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Tabernacle sanctuary, because we keep God first in everything we do.
I digress. We'll get to all of that. Nonetheless, many more Muslims came to early America than did Britons, arriving during the height of Puritan colonization. The high point of Puritan settlements during the Great Migration between 1620 and 1640 saw just 21,000 Britons come to North America. Perhaps 25% of these came as servants. Whose Puritan sentiments cannot be presumed. By 1760, New England was home to at most 70,000 Congregationalists, the Church of New England Puritans. Despite these relatively small numbers, the Puritans succeeded in becoming the schoolmasters to a nation. Yet in some respects, New England is also the loser in the rise of the U.S. It reached its peak of economic and political influence in the 18th century. Despite its prominent role in U.S. independence, it has never been the center of economic or political power, either in British colonies or in North America, nor in Greater America, nor even in the U.S. Seen simply as one of many New World colonies. I said seen simply as one of many New World colonies, New England was in notable respects an outlier. It was demographically unique for its settlement by families, religiously sectarian, politically anomalous, and from the perspective of Europe, economically secondary. I said it was economically secondary.
Scared of you motherfuckers. I'm gonna tell you some stuff, the motherfuckers.
This shit getting too easy, Lord. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It said even the phrase Puritan New England can be misleading. Fish, timber, and maritime commerce, specifically their trade with the West Indian plantations, not religion, made life in 17th and 18th century New England what it was. It said fish, timber, and maritime commerce, specifically their trade with the West Indian plantations, not religion, made life in 17th and 18th century New England what it was. That means 16 and 1700. Puritans were neither beloved by nor necessarily representatives of New Englanders. In the early 17th century Massachusetts Bay Colony, for example, a listener once heckled a Puritan minister, interrupting his servant with New England's business is cod, not God. For the sake of time, we're gonna skip down a little. I don't wanna what my nigga Smoke say, I don't wanna do the overkill. Shout out my nigga Smoke Signal. If there is any religious group who represents the best version of religious freedom in America, it is Muslims, such as Zamori and Al-Rahman. Shout out my motherfucking brother Yarn Rainer in the chat. I see you, tribe.
Among the birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
He was really nothing but an antisocial gangster.
They came to America under conditions of genuine oppression and struggle for their recognition of their religion and the freedom to practice it. In contrast to Anglo-Protestants, Muslims in America have demurred the impulse to tyrannize others, including Native Americans. Raise objections or show reluctance. Normally she would have accepted the challenge, but she demurred. I said Muslims in America have demurred the impulse to tyrannize others, including Native Americans. The most persistent consequence of the Puritan effect has been a continuing commitment to producing a past focused on how the actions, usually courageous and principled, of Anglo-Protestants, almost always in New England and the Chesapeake, led to the United States of America, its government, and its institutions. The truth is that the history of America is not primarily an Anglo-Protestant story, any more than the history of the West more broadly. It might not be straightforward or self-evident, matter what exactly constitutes, quote unquote, the West. But the more global era in history inaugurated by the European colonization of the Western Hemisphere must be a significant part of it. If the West means in part the Western Hemisphere or North America, Muslims have been part of its society from the very beginning. Conflicts over what the American nation is and who belongs to it are perennial. Answers remain open to a range of possibilities and are vitally important. Historically, Muslims are Americans, as originally American as Anglo-Protestants. In many ways, America's early Muslims are exemplars of the best practices and ideals of American religion. Any statement or suggestion to the contrary, no matter how well-meaning, derives from either intended or inherited chauvinism. This mayor word is very interesting, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Following the French establishment of the colony of Algeria from 1830 onward, it received several waves of Catalan-speaking settlers. People from the Spanish Alicante province settled around Oran, whereas Algiers received immigration from northern Catalonia and Menorca. The speech was known as Patois. By 1911, the number of Catalan speakers was around 100,000, and after the declaration of independence of Algeria in 1962, almost all Catalan speakers fled to northern Catalonia as Pieds Noirs. The Pieds Noirs are the people of French and other European descent who were born in Algeria during the period of French rule. I said during the period of French rule from 1830 to 1962, the vast majority of whom departed for mainland France as soon as Algeria gained independence or in the months following. French Algeria. And you know, I find it very interesting. Let's rewind a little bit. Since the 1516 capture of Algiers by the Ottomans, also known as the Turkish Empire, was an empire that controlled much of Southeast Europe, Western Asia, and Northern Africa between the 14th and early 20th centuries. It was founded at the end of the 13th century. But that's not really what we own. The brothers Ours and Hayreddin Barbosa Algeria had been a base for conflict and piracy in the Mediterranean. In 1681, Louis the Great, or the Sun King, asked Admiral Abraham Duquesne Marquis, French naval officer, to fight the Berber pirates and also order a large-scale attack on Algiers between 1682 and 1683 on the pretext of assisting and rescuing Christian slaves. This is according to Martin Henry, 1865. Martin's History of France, The Age of Louis. Blah, blah, blah. Again, Jean II d'Estrées, Marshal of France. Oh, there's that Marshal. There's that Mar. Bombarded Tripoli and Algiers from 1685 to 1688. An ambassador from Algiers visited the court in Versailles, and a treaty was signed in 1690 that provided peace throughout the 18th century. During the Directory Regiment of the First French Republic, 1795 to 99, the Bakri and the Bushnik Jewish merchants of Algiers during the Directory Regiment of the First French Republic, 1795 to 99, the Bakri and the Busnak Jewish merchants of Algiers provided large quantities of grain for Napoleon's soldiers, who participated in the Italian campaign of 1796. However, Bonaparte refused to pay the bill, claiming it was excessive. In 1820, Louis, however many the fuck numbers, paid back half of the Directory's debt. The Dey, who loaned to the Bakri 250,000 francs, requested the money from France. Dey comes from the Turkish honorific title. Dey, literally meaning uncle, was the title given to the rulers of the Regency of Algiers, Tripoli, and Tunis under the Ottoman Empire from 1671 onwards. 29 days held office, blah, blah, blah. The days of Algiers himself was weak politically, economically, and militarily. Algeria was then part of the Barbary states, coastal region of northern Africa, or Maghreb, specifically the Ottoman borderlands, consisting of the regencies in Algiers, and so on and so on. It says the Barbary coast was the stronghold of Berber pirates who carried out raids against European and American ships. I really meant for this stream to only go like an hour. Conflicts between the Barbary states and the newly independent United States of America culminated in the First and Second Barbary Wars. An Anglo-Dutch force led by Admiral Lord Exmouth carried out a punitive expedition, military journey undertaken to punish a political entity or any group of people outside the borders of the punishing state or union. It is usually undertaken in response to perceived disobedient or morally wrong behavior by miscreants. I digress. The August 1816 bombardment of Algiers, the day was forced to sign the Barbary Treaties, referring to several treaties between the United States of America and the semi-autonomous North African city-states of Algiers, Tunis, and Tripoli under the rule of the Ottoman Empire, known collectively as the Barber States. Treaty with Algiers, 1795.
Because you're going to smell my cologne. Instant and Yaki on the bar number 9, because I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Tabernacle, sanctuary, because we keep God first in everything we do.
Now, see, what you don't understand, and maybe I need to put some few pieces together because I'm so far ahead in the study, and I guess it is incumbent upon me. And see, these people were taking over the strongholds we control as Atlanteans. And this is what I'm slowly showing you, but I have to show it to you in a way that it's going to all connect. Dot after dot, we putting a puzzle together. I'm all the way. I'm 24 hours of study ahead where we at right now. You know what I'm saying? And still, like, my mind's still racing as I do this right now. It said Admiral Dupierre, we're going to fast forward a bit, commanded an armada of 600 ships that originated from Toulon, leading it to Algiers. Using Napoleon's 1808 contingency plan for invasion of Algiers, General de Bourmont landed 27 kilometers west of Algiers at Sidi Farak with 34,000 soldiers, June 14th, 1830. In response to the French, the Algerian Dey ordered an opposition consisting of 7,000 Janissaries. Now, as I told you, these Ottomans, these Turks, these are Europeans, so they sent for the Janissary. A Janissary was a member of the elite infantry units that formed the Ottoman Sultan's household troops and the first modern standing army in Europe. In where? In Europe. And I got a whole live stream we're gonna do on the Janissaries. That's a whole nother section of the sky. In response to the French, the Algerian Dey ordered an opposition consisting of 7,000 Janissaries, 9,000 troops from the bays of Constantine and Oran, and about 7,000 Kabyles. The Kabyle people are a Berber ethnic group indigenous to Kabylia in the north of Algeria, spread across the Atlas Mountains. 160 kilometers east of Algiers, they represent the largest Berber-speaking population of Algeria and the second largest in North Africa. You don't say. I think it's time to look at some pictures, y'all. Now, on part one, y'all remember Esteban, the medicine man, Black Jesus. You know what I'm talking about? I found this picture as a portrayal of him with this Habsburg ass jaw. X out that bullshit. They overthrew us, y'all, with niggas like this. 1789, middle-aged African-born man in London published the interesting narrative of the life of Oladu Equiano, or Gustavus Vasa, the African, laying the foundations for new genres of literature and new ways of understanding the experience of enslaved people. In this autobiography, the author, Oladu Equiano, detailed his life journey from African captivity to Atlantic slavery to British freedom. And as far as the title is concerned, Negros De Terra is a term that was used to identify the American Indians and to distinguish us from those from the continent of Africa, which they referred to as Negro de Guinea. You're welcome.
Because you're going to smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki on the bar number 9, because I do not pray.
That's the same clone I wear.
Tabernacle, sanctuary, because we keep God first in everything we do.
I need everybody to share the live stream. We're going to take a little... we'll go ahead and finish reading this. We're going to finish this. Now, we already know that Rahman was getting grabbed up by the British, right? This nigga writing books, being freed by the British. Equiano, according to his narrative, was born into an Igbo community in what is now Nigeria. He came from a powerful family. His father was a political leader, but that fact could not prevent Equiano from being kidnapped into slavery. Along with his sister, Equiano was captured from his village and marched from trader to trader for several months to the Atlantic, where he was sold to a ship bound for Barbados. At this point, he was only 11 or 12 years old. In his biography, Equiano candidly described how the experience stirred fear and confusion in the Africans it had snared. White people sailing ships and life in the stinking holds convinced him and others that they were in, quote unquote, another world. After surviving the Middle Passage and landing in Barbados, Equiano was sold to North American colony of Virginia, where in 1754 he was purchased by Lieutenant Pascal, an officer in the Royal Navy. Equiano traveled extensively and learned the mariners' trade with Pascal, who sent Equiano to London for schooling.
Because you're going to smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki on the bar number 9, because I do not pray.
That's the same clone I wear.
Tabernacle, sanctuary, because we keep God first in everything we do.
With a rudimentary education and significant maritime experience, Equiano had a life much different from what we would have experienced on a plantation. This eventually proved to be a great asset. Despite allusions to his manumission, Pascal sold him to a captain bound for the Caribbean, who in turn sold him to a Quaker named Robert King in Montserrat. King recognized Equiano's skills and put him to work in marketing rather than in the fields. In 1766, after 3 years in service, King allowed Equiano to purchase his own freedom. I said, after 3 years in his service, King allowed Equiano to purchase his own freedom. As a free man, Equiano turned to his sailing experience to earn a living and sailed the Mediterranean and Atlantic, including some adventurous scientific explorations. Shout out my motherfucking brother Thunder Media in the chat. Oh man, what did they do to him? It's funny how the Most High just got this shit lined up, bro. Like, I be finding shit and I don't even really know how it relate. It's funny you say that, bro. Anybody know who that is? On everything I love, bro. I got the keys to Atlantis over here. And we about to unravel it all, man. Please share the live stream.
The birds of prey are the owl, the vulture, the eagle, and the hawk. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
He was really nothing but an antisocial gangster.
He is a sort of gangster, you know, because this is a gangster story, but a gangster with a difference because this is a gangster with a conscience.
I don't need to...
Bettina, sugar?
Yes.
Django isn't a slave. Django is a free man, you understand? You can't treat him like any of the other niggas around here, because he ain't like any of the other niggas around here. You got it?
Not even how you thought. Niggas, check-up time. Time to pay the piper. Well, but you don't have to, huh? You got rights to believe however you want to, huh? There's only one God. There's only one blood covenant book that's floating around here of God Almighty. Not a covenant of a man which makes house niggas, Ku Klux Klan members, and everyone to feel like they can just shuffle their ass foot about getting about the business I'm talking about.
We have style, we got flavor, we got rhythm. I mean, the black man in America is the most copied man on this planet, bar none. Everybody want to be a nigga, but nobody want to be a nigga. How about that question?
Peace to the tribes, peace to the tribes. Let's see who we got new in here. See if y'all really shared it, man. If we got more people in here. If we don't have more people, man, I know y'all didn't share. Oh, damn. I got to add this to the Humbro file, man. Shout out Wild Indian Council in this motherfucker. Brave Hawk 334. Knowledge X, Thunder Media, say it again. Arthur Livingston, David Bell, Dracov's Music. Press 1 if you want me to say your name. Buck Williams, Mr. EOS. You could be a fuck nigga. I shout you out. All you gotta do is put the right one in the chat. Tribe. Oh man, the next one after this, back to back. I guess some niggas don't know who in North Africa and don't know that this is Atlantis and don't know that salt is one of the keys to solving this equation. But I already created that formula. We're going to get to that in another class. It's too much, bro. I'm telling you. You the salt of the earth, right? You know the Roman soldiers. You know salt used to be so valuable that you could trade it for its weight in gold, and that the Roman soldiers actually paid. The Roman Empire paid their soldiers in salt. It was that valuable. Ounce for ounce for gold, my nigga. So when it's saying in the Bible, you the salt of the earth, my nigga, you don't even understand. Now, you know, one thing I know about niggas and nigga culture is, as soon as a nigga go out of town, a nigga that's single, ain't no way you finna tell me if you know real motherfucking Aboriginal, Atlantean, Indian from these soils with this blood in your veins. You tell me every time a nigga leave out of town, them niggas ain't trying to get them some pussy, try. Now, you'll find something very interesting about these nations connected to Atlantis, but I don't want to go too far into that yet, because Ak asked me about what they did to the 10, 12-year-old little Muslim brother. I think I might have saved him under Hansel and Gretel, because this is for the other live stream. Let me go to Hansel and Gretel. I think I put him in there. Or is he in Morocco? Oh man, I got so many live streams lined up, bro. I can't even get this shit out of my head fast enough, bro. See, because this is all about, the transplants and shit. I'm tracking that. Got another live stream coming. We the ones let niggas know that the motherfucking orphan trains was coming from the Nazi camps in Britain. Now, I'm gonna show and prove on something else that these Muslims, all right, Muslims, say it with me, Muslims. These Muslims are contaminating your culture. Yeah, this coming up. This day in history, October 10th, 1944, 800 children are gassed to death at Auschwitz. This day, 1944, 800 gypsy children, including more than 100 boys between 9 and 14 years old, gassed. See, don't you see this, man? See, this is when they starting the transplants. We see this man right here with the cigar, looking down at these little kids, these kids by themselves, with this man. All right. Unidentified Seminole children, Florida, 1940. All right. Them immigrants. Motherfucking Eskimos and shit. It's Eskimo shit. All right. But they use the kids, see, because the kids, they brainwashing them. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's for the other one, man. Y'all got me too far ahead. But let's go to this little brother here. I'll go ahead and give y'all make a little connection. Says Ethiopians urge Britain to return bones of stolen prince after 150 years. For 150 years, Ethiopians have been asking when Prince Alemayehu will come home. The orphan prince, a descendant of Solomon, was taken to England, some say, quote unquote, stolen after British soldiers looted his father's imperial citadel following the Battle of Makadala in 1868. He died at the age of 18 after an unhappy childhood and was buried at St. George's Chapel at Windsor Castle at the request of Queen Victoria. Now, as discussions take place with the Victoria and Albert Museum about the return of royal treasures taken by British force during the battle, the Ethiopian government told the Observer it is, quote unquote, redoubling its efforts to finally bring back the prince's remains. Last week, there were celebrations in Addis Ababa to commemorate the life of the prince's father, Tewodros II, on the 150th anniversary of his death in battle. A selection of the objects in the V&A's possession went on display last week. Lem Sissay, the poet and author, has joined the campaign to repatriate the young prince's remains. Sissay, whose birth mother was Ethiopian, has been invited to speak about Alemayehu by the Ethiopian government in June. And this is from theguardian.com. It's my goal, my sincere hope that in my lifetime, Alemayehu will go back to Ethiopia. Sissay told the Observer, this isn't going away because I'm not going away. The first corrupt theft of an Ethiopian child was this one in 1868, Sisay said. He was taken from his family. He deserves too for his remains to go back to Ethiopia, back to where he was stolen from. The campaign to return Alamayehu began in earnest in 2006 when Ethiopian president wrote the queen asking for the remains to be exhumed, but the request was rebuffed. According to the Ethiopian embassy, the Lord Chamberlain replied on behalf of the Queen, saying that while Her Majesty was in favor of repatriation, identifying the remains of young Prince Alamayehu would not be possible. The prince's remains had been added to a grave at St. George's Chapel with 9 others. Campaigners for his repatriation believe that the key to identifying the remains may lie in the National Army Museum, which has a collection devoted to the Battle of Mukadala. In the aftermath, as the British forces carried off crowns, scrolls, I said crowns, scrolls, and fine clothing, a war artist cut a lock of Terodros' hair. The lock of hair is now at the National Army Museum in London. Oh, man. Sisay and others believe that a DNA test could establish whether any of the remains in the grave match it. Slowly but surely, the excuses we've been given that we can't find them because we can't identify the bones doesn't hold water, Sisay says. After the sacking of Magdala, a British officer named Tristram Speedy took the prince and his mother, the Empress, to work to Britain. The Empress died on the way, and before the party was due to embark on a ship from Alexandria in Egypt, the officer ordered all the other Ethiopians to return. Speedy took Alamayehu to his home in the Isle of Wight. Oh, man. Speedy took Alamayehu to his home in the Isle of Wight, where he was presented to Queen Victoria. Speedy was paid a stipend for the education of the prince, who went to rugby school, then Sandhurst. At school, he suffered racism. His letter shows Sisay said he had to sleep on the floor at one point. He was taken away from all his family and told he had to build a relationship with this man, who was one of those responsible for his father's death.
Not even how you thought. Niggas, checkup time. Time to pay the piper. Well, but you don't have to, huh? You got rights to believe however you wanna, huh? There's only one God. There's only one blood covenant book that's floating around here of God Almighty. Not a
I'm talking about straight business, man. I know they don't like me. They be all on the internet talking about the pimp. Pimp rap like he writing nursery rhymes. Pimp this and pimp that. You know what though, bitch? Say you put your real motherfucking address and your phone number on that shit. You ain't saying nothing, nigga. Hide behind them email address. You a hoe.
The devil is a motherfucking liar. So you know I ain't worried. Bitch. Stupid bitch.
Peace to the tribes. Oh man, I got it all figured out. I really do, man. As far as the evidence suggests. And now I am in no way suggesting that we descended from these people, not in the least bit. No, this was part of Atlantean territory. And we have been trading for well over 500 years. We'll see what the date is by the time we get to the end of this series. Because this is going to be something serious, man. I got so much more.
Because you're going to smell my cologne. Instrument Yaki on the bar number 9. But I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Tabernacle, sanctuary. Because we keep God first in everything we do.
They tried to bury us in the dirt. They didn't know we were seeds. Peace to the unconquered tribes of Atlantis. One nation above it all. You are now live with the Incredible Hawk. And this is Hawk School for the Gifted and the Elect.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
And what I'm suggesting is it may even be possible that these people were perhaps taken from here. As you look at some of the faces of Algeria before the whitewashing of everything, you'll see people who look like people you know. And if I'm wrong, correct me in the chat, but you know, I am Atlantean to the core, so I know myself when I see myself. It says in the Quran that I have created you in tribes and sub-tribes so that you may recognize one another.
Because you're going to smell my cologne. Instrument Yaki on the bar number 9. But I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Tabernacle, sanctuary. Because we keep God first in everything we do.
African in Arabia, Greater Syria, women in slavery and late Ottoman Empire. And it says here, let me give you a better look. Let me give you a better look. 2 Arab ladies, Zanzibar, 1913.
Because you're going to smell my cologne. Instrument Yaki on the bar number 9. But I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Tabernacle, sanctuary. Because we keep God first in everything we do.
Man, this shit is so deep, bro. Let me get back on track. We're going to wrap this one up. We still got keys to Atlantis too. You know what I mean? We got the keys.
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. I'm gonna tell you something straight off the motherfucking.
Let me X out of some of this. See, that's them transplants. Hold on. I just seen some. What's this say? Sometimes these comments be wild. It said 1962, the Catholic Church took mixed race children, Creole, Haitian, and adopted us out as white. We had no identity, and the church sealed our records for 2 decades. So none of us knew who or what we were. Baby shampoo, my white parents made a pact never to tell my real identity. I found I was French, Creole, Irish, and Haitian. Whoa.
Cause you gonna smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki on some bar number 9. Cause I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Tabernacle sanctuary. Cause we keep God first in everything we do.
Let me show you another Arab. Let me show you another Arab.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
Okay, I want you to put the dots together yourself and think.
Nothing but an antisocial gangster.
I want you to think. So we doing trade. Niggas is ruling Spain. Spain pulling up. Niggas becoming medicine man. Spain doesn't participate in the Atlantic slave trade, excuse me. All right, this is all what we've come to learn. So you don't think nobody was like, shit, I'm finna go over here, man, go work in Morocco, my nigga. Go work here, wherever the fuck. Then you don't really believe we ruled the world, press 1. And when you see what an Arab really look like, you can understand why he would be accepted when he meets somebody like this. Press 1. I mean, even the mixed people still look like niggas in America, bro. Correct me if I'm wrong. This led me down an even more interesting rabbit hole. The extraordinary phenomenon, Algerian Jewish henna via a Hebrew Christian missionary. And this is really supposed to be about Moors, but this is really about a trip to Morocco, taking a closer look into what's over there, who's over there. Algerian. See, we was running the motherfucker shit, bro. You can see these ain't slaves. You gonna tell me she was a slave? She got a sword, my nigga. Hey, it's funny you said that. I see that in the chat. When I looked at her, I straight said she looked like she from Chicago. She looked like my oldest kid's mama when she was a little girl. That shit is crazy.
Cause you gonna smell my cologne. Intimidate or the bar number 9. Cause I do not play.
That's Central and Highway.
Tabernacle, sanctuary. Cause we keep God first in everything we do.
Now let me explain this. You see teepees back there and you saying, well, what the fuck? What you showing us? Dogchild Winnipeg Jack is a Blackfoot scout and interpreter. They traveling. They moving. That's why they got tents. Well, we about to fuck them up. We ain't even got nowhere, y'all. Now he an Apache right here. And this nigga is drunk as shit. And we know how they get down, press 1. He drunk as shit. If you're just now tuned in, please smash that like. Please share the live stream so we could get the truth to our people, so we could take our culture back.
Cause you gonna smell my cologne. Intimidate or the bar number 9. Cause I do not play.
That's Central and Highway.
Tabernacle, sanctuary. Cause we keep God first in everything we do.
Now, you know, I'm thinking, and you know, that's why I need y'all in the chat. Shout out to y'all.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
Because, you know, I'm starting to wonder. Is that how all those Muslim Africans, quote unquote slaves, ended up being here? Were they being deported from a place that we ruled? Here you see British colonial official with Islamic slave traders in Zanzibar. On the far right is Hamid bin Mohammed bin Juma bin Raja bin Mohammed bin Said al-Mugabe, more commonly known as Tipu Tip, the most notorious slaver. Al-Mugabe died in 1905. Clearly, he's here with the British, and the British are grabbing up Muslims. Shit ain't really adding up. bragging about this treaty. They sure be bragging about that treaty, don't they? Well, shit, the next year, they grabbed up a more. That's documented. But, you know, nigga don't expect you to put the pieces together. Nigga will talk to you for 8 motherfucking hours, tribe. Let me give you another jewel. Here you see a Sufi of Sheikh Hussein, Eastern Ethiopia. Notice the red beard. Ethiopia. Red beard swag, Somali Sufi culture. Elderly men with traditional henna dyed beards. Well, Hawk School, you kind of premature with the clap. They don't really understand what you're saying. Well, I guess they don't know about the tribes that dyed their hair red. And white people that tell you red-haired giants ain't you. Press 1. Another Arab. Egyptian man, 1890. I told you, we ruled Egypt too.
Cause you gonna smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki or the bar number 9, cause I do not play.
That's the same phone I wear.
Tabernacle sanctuary, cause we keep God first in everything we do.
Egyptian man with striped shawl, 1890. Channeling Moses. (1911-1936) Silver Jubilee. Zanzibar. Syed Sir Khalifa bin Harub, the Sultan of Zanzibar.
The birds of prey are the owl, the vulture, the eagle, and the hawk. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
He was really nothing but an antisocial gangster.
He is a sort of gangster, you know, because this is a gangster story, but a gangster with a difference because this is a gangster with a conscience. I don't need
That's why they won't give up the Ethiopian boy Bones. But I'm getting off track. Now notice this depiction. This is fighting at the gates of Algiers in 1830. Notice these men here. Swords, beards. He got a pistol. Look like he got some feathers on his waist. You got the dead white man. You got the British. You see all these white boys back here, these Turks? See this nigga with this red fez on? See, these niggas here is different from these niggas here. Press 1. Now, we were talking about the Dey and demanding his money. It says the Dey agreed to surrender in exchange for his freedom and the offer to retain possession of his personal wealth. 5 days later, he exiled himself with his family, departing on a French ship for the Italian peninsula. 2,500 Janissaries also quit the Algerian territories, heading for Asia. The French army then recruited the first Zouaves, a title given to a certain light infantry regiments in October, followed by the Spahis regiment, while France expropriated all the lands, properties belonging to the Turkish settlers known as Beyliks in the western region of Oran. Sultan Abdurrahman of Morocco, the commander of the faithful, could not remain indifferent to the massacres committed by French Christian troops and to belligerent calls for jihad from the marabouts. Despite the diplomatic rupture between Morocco and the two Sicilies in 1830 and the naval warfare engaged against the Austrian Empire as well as with Spain, then headed by Ferdinand, what's that, the 7th? I don't know how to read this shit. Some pink motherfucker.
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
Cause you gonna smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki on the bar number 9. Cause I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Tabernacle sanctuary. Cause we keep God first in everything we do.
Some governments and scholars have called France's conquest of Algeria a genocide. For example, Ben Kernan, an Australian expert on Cambodian genocide, wrote in Blood and Soil, A World History of Genocide and Extermination from Sparta to Darfur on the French conquest of Algeria. By 1875, the French conquest was complete. The war had killed approximately 825,000 indigenous Algerians since 1830. Now, why do you think they would do that, tribe? Why would you kill them people? They're just some slaves. Why would you kill your money if they're just some slaves? A long shadow of genocidal hatred persisted, provoking a French author to protest in 1882 that in Algeria we hear it repeated every day, that we must expel the native and, if necessary, destroy him. As a French statistical journal urged 5 years late, the system of extermination must give way to a policy of penetration. When France recognized the Armenian genocide, Turkey accused France of having committed genocide against 15% of Algeria's population. If you just tapped in, man, smash that like. You know what I'm talking about? Get this motherfucker up to 1,000 likes. Let's see how many likes we could get at the end of the stream, because we only got 60 people in the stream, y'all. So as soon as the stream in, I want everybody to see how many likes we got, how many views we got, so you'll know that they lying. But that's cool, because we don't do it for the views. We don't do it for the $3 in revenue a motherfucking video. Press 1. We do it for the tribe.
Because you going to smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki or some bar number 9, because I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Tabernacle Sanctuary, because we keep God first in everything we do.
Oh, yeah, I got something special here. Shit about to get ugly, y'all. I ain't on nobody's side. I'm on the truth side, motherfucker. This is Atlantis.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
He was really nothing but an antisocial gangster.
He is a sort of gangster, you know, because this is a gangster story.
Well,
but a gangster
I
with a
found this
difference.
surprising. At the time of the American
Where the fuck that
Revolution,
come
5% of the population in the 13 colonies was Muslim. Well, I have to say, I found this surprising. At the time of the American Revolution, 5% of the population in the 13 colonies was Muslim.
Because you going to smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki or some bar number 9, because I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Tabernacle Sanctuary, because we keep God first in everything we do.
I found something very interesting in these writings. A Meccan merchant and his Circassian slave. Circassians are an indigenous Northwest Caucasian ethnic group, a nation native to the historical country region of Circassia in the North Caucasus Mountains, as a consequence of the Circassian genocide, which was perpetrated by the Russian Empire in the 19th century. I thought they said white people wasn't slaves. Can you get any more Caucasian than this nigga, y'all? Master, slave. Who got on the feds, y'all?
Because you going to smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki or some bar number 9, because I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Tabernacle Sanctuary, because we keep God first in everything we do.
So the master got on a turban. The slave got on the fez. Because, you know, I'm actually reflecting, and as we're going through here, and we've been looking at all these people from Africa, North Africa, Morocco, Mauritania, Algeria. Have y'all seen anybody with a fez on? I haven't.
Because you're going to smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki or some bar number 9. Because I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Tabernacle, sanctuary. Because we keep God first in everything we do.
Says in the Holy Quran, I have created you in tribes and sub-tribes so that you may recognize one another.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
He was really nothing but an antisocial gangster.
He is a sort of gangster, you know, because this is a gangster story, but a gangster with a difference because this is a gangster with a conscience.
I don't need no gun to do my thing. Mao Zedong said that power grows out the barrel of a gun. He never said that power was a gun. That's why I don't need no gun to do my thing. What I need is some freedom. What I need is the power to determine my destiny.
Look like any Africans you ever seen before?
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
Algerian girls.
The birds of prey
they even pose like us. Press 1. She got the head lean like all y'all gals lean their head to the side in their photo. Press 1.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
He was really nothing but an antisocial gangster.
He is a sort of gangster.
Trip to Morocco, North Africa. And it's all gonna make sense in a minute. I don't want to get too far ahead. Above photos are of antique Qibla finders, which is a mechanical device invented in circa 1580 to provide directions to Makkah Mukarramah. And if you don't know, it is a device so that you know where Mecca is. Press 1, 1580.
because you're going to smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki on the bar number 9, because I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Tabernacle, sanctuary, because we keep God first in everything we do.
Even the mixed people still look like niggas. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. The cherry on top. So let's read a little something. Where did it go left? I mean, because niggas talking about a treaty, but they committing genocide on the Aboriginal people, killing niggas' mamas and shit, kidnapping them, taking them back to Britain. Niggas, I thought niggas said they got a treaty, tribe. How nigga got a treaty of peace and friendship, and all the niggas who look like us is being exterminated? Press 1.
Because you're going to smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki on the bar number 9, because I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Tabernacle, sanctuary, because we keep God first in everything we do.
I got a document in front of me that says, oh, sheesh. It's kind of ugly right here. I haven't even read this, but I got a feeling it's going to be ugly. What's the date? It's 1791. Let me see what them likes looking like, man. I need y'all to share the live stream. And we're going to get into this document real quick while we on this little voyage here. And what do we have here? We need to zoom in. Stand by. Oh, shit about to get ugly here. This shit ain't looking too hot. All right, let's see what we got here. What is this? It says United States paid $20,000 for the Treaty of Marrakesh. The seal of the emperor was placed on the treaty, originally written in Arabic. Act pertaining to the U.S. Navy, March 3rd, 1791. United States Statute at Large, First Congress, an act making an appropriation for the purpose therein mentioned, be it enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States of America and Congress assembled, that for the purpose of effecting the recognition of the Treaty of the United States with the new Emperor of Morocco, there be and hereby is appropriated a sum not exceeding $20,000 to be paid out of the monies which prior to the first day of January next shall arise from the duties imposed upon spirits distilled within the United States and from stills by the act entitled an act repealing after the last day of June next the duties heretofore laid upon distilled spirits imported from abroad and laying others in their stead, and also upon spirits distilled within the United States, and for appropriating the same, together with the excess of duties which may arise from the duties imposed by the said act on imported spirits, beyond those which would have arisen by the act entitled an act making further provision for the payment of the debts of the United States. And the president is hereby authorized to take on loan the whole sum by this act appropriated, or so much thereof as he may judge requisite, established for the above mentioned appropriation is hereby pledged for the repayment of the principal and interest of any loan to be obtained in the manner aforesaid, and in any case of any deficiency in the said fund, for the faith of the United States is hereby also pledged, make good such deficiency. Approved March 3rd, 1791.
Because you're going to smell my cologne. Instant and Yaki. On some bar number 9. Because I do not pray.
That's so cool. I
Yeah, tabernacle, sanctuary. Because we keep God first in everything we do.
They gonna pretend like they didn't hear the contract, Godfather. But wait, there's more. Goes on to say, the Treaty of Marrakesh of 1786, I said 1786, made between Caliph Muhammad ibn Abdullah, Islamic leader of Moorish Empire, the Maghreb, and the United States of America. This first page contains the seal and introductory article of the treaty made in line of 1786 and later translated. I said in later translated in 1787. The Arabic original and English translation protects all Muslims from enslavement. Ooh, shit about to get ugly, y'all. And we'll actually be taking a flight to Morocco as well in the Atlantean time machine. I'm going to take you back approximately 100 years. So, wait for that. The Indians and Negroes were also receiving tributary payment from King George III and his colonies, and when they, whites, did not pay their citizens, were held captive. In the book, Life of Charles Thompson, The History of the Black Lenape, Shakem, Sachem, Tedayusham is discussed. The tributary payment of the whites and Tedayusham choosing of Charles Thompson to act as secretary in respect to interactions between the Moors and the white British subjects. Here are the records from the book, The Life of Charles Thompson. Hog school. Hog school, hog school.
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. I'm gonna tell you something straight off the motherfucking press.
Master Strickland Gibbons. It says the Indians came to the number of 300, representing 10 tribes. I find that very interesting. Isn't there 10 tribes of Atlantis? I digress.
Because you're going to smell my cologne. Instant and Yaki. On some bar number 9. Because I do not pray.
That's so cool. I
Yeah, tabernacle, sanctuary.
Or should I say 10 sons plus 10 daughters? But, you know, I'm just, you know, it was just interesting to me that it said they had 300 representing 10 tribes. And Ted Deschung, a chief of the Delawares, was appointed to speak for them in the conference. Says the Friendly Association, organized by a number of prominent Quakers in 1756, had a great influence upon the negotiations of this treaty. The purpose of this body are set forth by Gough in his History of the People called Quakers as follows. The Friendly Association was first promoted in the 11th month, 1756, and continued to the 19th of the 4th month, 1763, and continued to the 19th of the 4th month. I'm reading it again. During which time committees were annually elected by the subscribers, who met on the 19th and 4th month in each year to receive from the said committee an account of their transactions and expenditures of the money raised, which amounted to 4,000 pounds, which was chiefly laid out in present to the Indians and delivered to them at the public treaties, either by the governors of the province, Morris and Denny, or on behalf of the subscribers. I'm missing one piece of this word. You know how they break the shit in half. I don't know what the last little piece was. Anyway, of the said governors, as well as to consolate the minds of the Indians, as to encourage them to seek out and release the captives remaining among them. Of the above sum was contributed by the Mennonites. Ain't them Germans that's down in Mexico? They owe the Indians some money, so the Lenape is doing all the politicking, huh? It said the Friendly Association desired to send representatives to the conference at Easton, but the governor denied their request. Some of the leading members of the association then prompted de Uskung to demand a secretary of his own choosing to take the minutes of the treaty. The governor was compelled to accede to the demand on the threat of the Indian chief to retire from the conference. Charles Thompson of Philadelphia was at once appointed secretary, and he soon won the confidence of the Indians. By his truthfulness and his effort to secure justice for the various tribes in the treaty of the preceding year, Teduscung delivered an eloquent oration on the wrongs of his nation, but those parts of his speech which reflected on the contact of the provincial government were omitted in the official papers. Who is this guy? Teduscung was known as King of the Delawares. 1763. He worked to establish a permanent Lenape Delaware home in eastern Pennsylvania and Lehigh, Susquehanna, and Delaware River valleys. Teduscung participated in the Treaty of Easton, colonial agreement in North America signed in October 1758 during the French and Indian War between British colonials and the chief of 13. Oh, you guessed it. 13 Native American tribes. Teduscung participated in the Treaty of Easton, which resulted in the surrender of Lenape claims to all lands in Pennsylvania. Now, I want you to notice King of Delaware, 1700, 1763. You see the depiction. You see this building back here. You see the checkerboard pants. You see the Masonic stance. Following the treaty, the Lenape were forced to live under the control of the Iroquois in the Wyoming Valley near modern-day Wilkesboro. Teddy-Yaskung was murdered by arsonists in the night of April 19, 1763. This marked the beginning of the end of the Lenape presence in Pennsylvania. Teddy-Yaskung's son, Chief Bull, conducted a raid on the Wyoming Valley that was part of a greater Indian uprising. As a result, the Lenape were forced to move west of the Appalachian Mountains by the Royal Proclamation of 1763. Teddy-Yaskung, whose name means as far as the wood's edge, was born circa 1700 near present-day Trenton, New Jersey. He was raised among a group of Lenape who were acculturated. Acculturation is a process of social, psychological, and cultural change that stems from the balancing of two cultures while adapting to the prevailing culture of the society. Acculturation is a process in which an individual adopts, acquires, and adjusts to a new cultural environment as their own. After Teddy-Yaskung moved to New Jersey to Pennsylvania, he came in contact with fellow Lenape who had not become accustomed to the ways of the colonial settlers. These Lenape still practiced many of the ceremonies and rituals of their ancestors. Teddy-Yaskung became a spokesman for the Lenape who were forced to negotiate with the government of colonial Pennsylvania. The Lenape lost most of the Lehigh Valley following the Walking Purchase of 1737. Teddy-Yaskung remained with his fellow Lenape until 1749 or 1750, when joined the Moravian Church. He did not remain with the Moravians for long. His biographer, Anthony Wallace, wrote, Teddy-Yaskung was of two minds. As far as white people were concerned, and what satisfied one offended the other. He was driven to identify himself with Europeans by an acute sense of his insecurity and inferiority as a member of the broken. I said as a member of the broken Delaware society. But this same anxious sense of shame produced a belligerent, stubborn denial of the authority of the very people he admired.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
It was really nothing but an antisocial gangster.
Teddy-Yaskung left the Moravian settlement in 1754 and settled farther north in the Wyoming Valley. It was while living among other displaced Indians that Teddy-Yaskung would declare himself King of Delawares. I said it was while living amongst other displaced Indians that Teddy-Yaskung would declare himself King of the Delawares and assume a vital role in the negotiations between the natives of Pennsylvania and the colonial government in Philadelphia. Now, the whole time, this boy ain't nothing but a Freemason plant. At the 1758 negotiations for the Treaty of Easton, Teddy-Yaskung claimed that to represent the French, allied Delaware Indians, and the Six Nations of the Iroquois, the Shawnee, he got on a turban, the Mohican, and the Christian Munsee. He sought a promise from the Pennsylvania government that the lands of the Wyoming Valley would be reserved for the displaced Indians in the area. Teddy-Yaskung encountered opposition in the talks at Easton and later talks with the William Penn's family. Quakers. That's the motherfucking oatmeal man. In later talks with William Penn's family and the Iroquois Confederacy that he claimed to quote-unquote represent in the negotiations, the powerful Iroquois Confederacy claimed the Wyoming Valley and the Lenape simply lived there with its permission. A combination of competing interests led to the eventual demise of Teddy-Yaskung and his settlement. And this is according to Linda Metis, O'Connell, and David Vendetta, How Peace Was Made, The Morning Call. The Iroquois were not pleased that Teddy Uskung claimed to negotiate on their behalf, and they refused to recognize the Lenape claim to any land in the Wyoming Valley. Says the Quaker founder of Pennsylvania were losing control of their colony as pacifists. They did not fight against those who were willing to fight for the colony and settled on lands that the Quakers had promised to the Indians, the colonies of Virginia and Connecticut. The colonies of Virginia and Connecticut settled lands in Pennsylvania that were part of the charters. The competing interests of the Iroquois, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, and Virginia did not allow Teddy Uskung and his people to live in the peace that was promised. Teddy Uskung was a casualty of the peace that brought about the end of the French and Indian War in Pennsylvania, 1754, 1763. Theater of the 7 Years' War, which pitted the North American colonies of the British Empire against those of the French, each side being supported by various Native American tribes. The colonists agreed to pull back from settlements in the Ohio country in exchange for peace east of the Appalachians. The Iroquois refused to grant a permanent home for Teddy Uskung and his people in the Wyoming Valley. The promised investigation into the walking purchase was passed from the colonial government in Philadelphia to the British government in London, where it was eventually dropped. Teddy Uskung was left unsupported and unprotected. On April 19, 1763, his cabin in the village of Wyalutumunk was burned to the ground by arsonists. Teddy Uskung was asleep in his cabin at the time and perished in the blaze, and residents of Wyalutumunk fled, and settlers from the Susquehanna Company of Connecticut soon took their place. Teddy Uskung's dream of a Lenape home in the Wyoming Valley ended with his death.
I'm talking about straight business, man. I know they don't like me. They be out.
Boom! They fucking with the Stream Tribe.
I'm talking about straight business, man. I know they don't like me. They be all on the internet talking about the pimp. Pimp rap like he writing nursery rhyme. Pimp this and pimp that. You know what though, bitch? Say you put your real motherfucking address and your phone number on that shit. You ain't said nothing, nigga. Hide behind them email address. You a hoe.
You won't speak on flesh. You want because you see flesh and shit. And you know why they always told you, a man can't be God. Huh? What you calling me for? I told you what I'm about. It's about getting lawyers, training them up in the words, the scriptures, and we're going to help the poor, the fatherless that can't afford their legality fee. They can't afford justice. I know you all in for justice, huh? Just like white supremacists, huh? White supremacists put your judgment for your ass and swinging from a noose. Black man.
All right. Let me see who this is real quick. You know, because niggas think they know so much, man. Mixing apples and oranges. What is this? See, y'all niggas mix a lot of shit up. Let's see what they got to say here. Infogalactic. Who knew? Uh-oh. Hey, man, I just found this shit, man. Just now. Y'all hear me, man? Let me get some ones, man, if you can hear me, man. Let me get some ones. We fucking them up. The Moorish Orthodox Church of America. Is a syncretic religious body. Syncretism is the combining of different, often contradictory beliefs while blending practices of various schools of thought. Syncretism involves the merger and analogizing of several originally discrete traditions, especially in the theology and mythology of religion, thus asserting an underlying unity and allowing for an inclusive approach to other faiths. Syncretism also occurs commonly in expression of arts and cultures known as eclecticism. If that's so. The Moorish Orthodox Church of America is a syncretic religious body espousing an ostensibly Eastern Christian liturgical and devotional tradition laid over a theology consisting of teachings gleaned from Ismaili Islam, Sufism, particularly from Chishti and Bektashi and Ovyesi traditions, Tantra, with both the Buddhist and Hindu variations, and Vedanta teachings. An outgrowth of the Moorish Science Temple of America, an African-American body of heretical Muslims, founded in the early 20th century by Timothy Drew, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. The Moorish Orthodox Church was founded in 1962 by Warren Tartaglia, jazz musician, poet, one of the 6 founders of the Moorish Orthodox Church of America. First son of a rabbi, and his maternal grandmother was Ida Frank. Ida and Harry Frank were the parents of Ruth. Ruth married Warren's father, Vincent Tartaglia, and became Ruth Frank Tartaglia. She almost died from postpartum bleeding at his birth and was in the hospital for a month, too sick to care for him, while Warren was in an incubator for almost a month. The Sultan Rafi Sharif Bey brought him into the Noble Order of Moorish Sufis in Baltimore in 1959 after being introduced by a mutual friend and Noble Order member. His cousin's friends, Jane Raquel Jacobs, Yaqub El Tartaglia, was 15 or 16 at this point and learned about Hassan Saba and the Hashishin Ismaili Dervish Order. Dervish. I didn't even expect that coming. All right, I think it's about time to wrap this one up because it went way over, y'all. Way over. Way over. Now, y'all don't forget when we get done, man, see how many likes and how many views so we can see how many people really was in the stream. And we're going to connect the dots on the final one. I think it's about time to take that trip to Morocco, though. See the replacements? How Athabascan leaders crafted the Ta'ana Chief Conference. These some Eskimos they done brought in. Made them a tribe. Take you off the land. Freemasons. Group photograph taken during a break from the meeting between Athabascan leaders and government officials on July 5th, 1915 shows from left Chief Alexander of Tolavona, Chief William of Tanana, Chief Thomas of Nenana, Paul Williams of Tanana, Chief Ivan of Cross Jacket, Chief Charlie of Minto, and Chief Alexander William of Tanana. It was a concern for their people and for future generations. They united interior tribal leaders 100 years ago this week to hold the first official meeting between interior Alaska natives and the U.S. government. This is a Moroccan Jewish man in traditional dress. Yeah, them some motherfucking Siberians, some gypsies, some Russians, some Scythians. Ain't that what that nigga was, a Scythian? His Scythian ass slave? Or this nigga with his Scythian slave? See, they Catalan. They said the Catalan took off. I'm like, Catalan? SS Catala was a Canadian coastal passenger and cargo steamship built for service with the Union Steamship Company of British Columbia. Catalan. There he is. I thought I had what the Catalan speakers look like. Did you know there was a Philadelphia in Asia Minor? It says the city of Philadelphia in Asia Minor was an important and wealthy trade center in ancient Lydia that retained its importance until late Byzantine times. The city was addressed as one of the 7 churches of the books of Revelation and became an early seat of a bishop. As an ancient city, Philadelphia was not as ancient as many other cities of ancient Minor. It was founded in 189 BC along with one of the roads that led east toward Pisidia. The city has had a number of names through its existence, Philadelphia to honor Attalus II, who was honored for his loyalty with the nickname Philadelphos, literally one who loves his brother, by his elder brother. And I find it really interesting because it's like Philadelphia is one of the 7 churches in the book of Revelation. And y'all just renamed it in Asia Minor. That's strange. That's very strange. All right, man, I'm on some high shit, fly shit. You know how we ride shit, tribe shit. Now, this is what began to happen. (1936), Morocco. He probably a mulatto, washing them on out. He has on a fez. Oh, we got a little more ways to go, tribe. Just a little more ways to go. I find it funny that they rock like Ethiopia. Oh, we're going to connect all the dots on the next one. It's back to back. I'm just going to make me a little more coffee. Turn up. Moroccan dress. And, you know, once you start going through these pictures, and that's what really help me connect the dots because, you know, culture is culture. And I'm just looking at what people is wearing. I mean, this is a woman in Morocco, Middle East, Bedouin, 1898. She looks 100% like an American Indian. Press 1.
Cause you gonna smell my cologne. Instrument Yaki or the bar number 9. Cause I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Tabernacle, sanctuary. Cause we keep God first in everything we do.
Why she got a peace pipe? I'm asking for a friend. That's Ethiopia. Morocco. Before the Zouveys. See, because the Zouveys, you'll see that they brought in over there. Oh, this also sell out Lenape ass nigga. American Indian. Master Fard Muhammad under the alias David Ford, pictured in the upper left-hand corner. Very interesting. There are many Masons shown in this picture. The development of the MSTA saw the influence of many high-degree black Shriners, Masons, and secret societies, particularly the ancient Egyptian Arabic order of nobles of the mystic shrine. And this is what niggas is getting confused with us. Well, it says the development of the MSTA saw the influence of many high-degree black Shriners, Masons, and secret societies, particularly of the ancient Egyptian Arabic order of nobles of the mystic shrine, started by Noble Ali Rofelt Pasha and John George Jones in 1893. These secret societies played a major role in the events during the late 20s and 30s in governmental changes in America that have great importance to the events happening presently in respect to the subject of the reparations of the New World Order. You know, if they really knew Islam, then they would know there's no innovations in Islam. The Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing God be upon him, said, all innovations are errors and should be rejected. It says a note here of interest is that Charles Thompson served as the secretary for the so-called Lenape Indigenous Americans. His service in this group is a key connection of the Continental Congress to the history of Masonry and our own hidden indigenous Moorish heritage and history that is veiled in this Lenape or Iroquois history. Remember, white people have changed the names of many things to create confusion. In 1756, Thompson was the secretary for Lenape Delaware Indians, Moors, Nubians, at a great council held at Easton, and that nation adopted him as a son according to an ancient custom. The word Lenape is derived from La, which we will find is related to Akhenaten Pakal Botan, specifically to his ancestral line, and Nape or Nab, which is interesting, of Egyptian origin, and B meaning Lord in Arabic, Nabi means messenger, the ancient language of the family of Emron, Moorish Israelites often called Maya. Gave the name Nab to bodies of water lilies, turtles, and water in general. Water lilies were of extreme importance in Egyptian religious tradition. The lay in Lenape has ancient origins. The conventional meaning given is that it means original people, as the Lenape were considered the grandfather group amongst the indigenous people of Americas. The true origin of lay, used in the frame of reference in Lenape denoting its connection to Mexico, is derived from glyph forms found in the Temple of Inscriptions at Palenque, Mexico, the secret burial tomb of Akhenaten, Moses, Solomon. It's funny, we just brought up Philadelphia, didn't we? Says the Lenape are recorded as the owners of Philadelphia and allegedly sold a section to William Penn in 1682. Statues of the turtle are still found on Penn's Landing. The area of the Lenape was called Shakamason. You see these beasts on top, and they're pulling the strings. And then they're pulling the strings. And then they're pulling the strings. Go to Morocco tribe. Why don't we take a little trip to YouTube, give everybody a little break, get out the car, stretch your legs, because we on a trip. Who you worship? Bear with me, man.
Because you're going to smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki. Or some bar number 9. Because I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
The sanctuary. Because we keep God first in everything we do.
Hey.
Oh, man. This was a heavy one, man. Heavy, 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 heavy. The final piece will be in Keys to Atlantis 2.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
We're gonna take a trip to Morocco and then goddamn, we're gonna end with some high-powered Atlantis shit, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't want niggas walking up out there motherfucker like that and goddamn killed everybody, took everything over there, everybody betrayed us. I ain't gonna leave you like that, tribe. We the elect and we on deck.
Cause you gonna smell my cologne, intimate yaki, or the bar number 9, cause I do not play.
That's safe zone I was.
Yeah, tabernacle, sanctuary, cause we keep God first in everything we do.
Come on. Feel like nigga got a goddamn old car, had to, you know, I had to warn that motherfucker up. Like, goddamn, nigga gotta get up. Y'all might not know about that stroke. Nigga gotta get up goddamn early for work. Just let that motherfucking car warm up. Press 1.
The birds
We'll
of
have some,
prey.
you know, some final, you know what I mean? We'll be able to draw a real good understanding for our next levels of study by the time we get done with Keys to Atlantis Part 2. But we breaking the matrix over here. Press 1.
Cause you gonna smell my cologne, intimate yaki, or the bar number 9, cause I do not play.
That's safe zone I was.
Yeah, tabernacle, sanctuary, cause we keep God first in everything we do.
And we actually might do a call in on the end of the next stream. Since this stream went a little longer, I kind of put some of the stuff I have for the next stream in this one, so that'll make it shorter. Maybe we could do a call in, drop the link, and we could just build on, you know what I'm saying? What niggas done found out so far. You know what I mean? We'll see how it go.
Women and savage fanatics. A land of magic dreams, of romance and adventure, whose head rests on the azure waters of the Mediterranean, and whose feet are buried in the burning sands of Sahara. The beauty of its vales, the rugged magnificence of its mountains, the arid splendor of its desert, all these have created a people of strange and naive dignity, excellent of form and feature, a warlike people who keep serenely and securely within themselves. And they, in turn, have created a fitting wonder of builded cities, towers, minarets, mosques, and fountains. Monuments that express as nothing else could the soul of Morocco. It is a country of walled cities. 1,000 years ago, these walls went up, 7 miles of them. 1,000 years ago, the tribesmen came, as they do today, out of the arid desert, out of the Atlas Mountains, away from the terror of loneliness.
Hold on, I gotta pause that for a brief interjection. They say they came out of where? They say Atlas Mountains. Wait a minute, pause that. Atlas Mountains. That's what they say, y'all? That's what they said? We ain't even got to go into it. We ain't even got to do that right now. We behind schedule. Atlas Mountains, though. Mental note.
Because you're going to smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki. Or some bar number 9. Because I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Yeah, Tabernacle. Thank you.
It is a country of walled cities. 1,000 years ago, these walls went up, 7 miles of them. 1,000 years ago, the tribesmen came, as they do today, out of the arid desert, out of the Atlas Mountains, away from the terror of loneliness. This young Riff is a member of that fearless mountain tribe who till very recently defied Christian invasion in Morocco. In the city of delight on earth, the water boy with his goatskin fountain and his tinkling bell.
Now, keep in mind, this is 1934, so it is after the wash. And of course, this is propaganda, but it's good for observational purposes. Press 1.
Marabou stork posing on a pole. Mules laden with hides from which that marvelously soft, sweet-smelling leather is made. The beggar with his plea for alms in the name of Allah. The beggar with his plea for alms in the name of Allah. The seller of filigree lanterns. The mysterious hooded figures all seem like a dream of Arabian Nights. Who visits Morocco finds himself in a world apart, where nothing is too fantastic to be true, and where truth is stranger than even the fiction of the storyteller. There is extreme poverty in Morocco, but the Moor is a philosopher. He smiles even when his stomach is empty and his body covered with rags.
Now, tribe, this is quite different from the people that we've seen thus far, correct? Okay.
He has a proverb. Manage with bread and butter, it says, until God sends the jam. Down in the sukkah, or marketplace, chaos and good-natured confusion. Here are the rent-free shops of the butcher, the baker, and, of course, Omar the confusion. Here are the rent-free shops of the butcher, the baker, and, of
Ain't that your mans in them?
Because you're going to smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki. Or some bar number 9. Because I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Yeah, Tabernacle. Sanctuary. Because we keep God first in everything we do.
It's very interesting that he's not in rags. And we finally find somebody in Morocco with a fez on, 1934.
The baker and, of course, Omar the tent maker. The ever-popular snake charmer never fails to get a good audience.
He's not Muslim.
And, with his band of musicians, receives rapt attention. In America, one buys a bottle of bootleg liquor and becomes his own snake charmer. In America, one buys a bottle of bootleg liquor and becomes his own snake charmer. In America, one buys a bottle of bootleg liquor and becomes his own snake charmer. In America, one buys a bottle of bootleg liquor and becomes his own snake charmer. The singer of strange songs, the flute players, the tom.
Now, none of these people, this is not a practice of Islam. It is in the Quran. No music, that's part of the practice of Islam. No musical instruments are allowed inside the mosque. So all this partying these people doing, they different.
Toms which flare up like torches, then fade away, leaving us forever unsatisfied.
Now, remember they said that nigga was a dervish when we was reading about this more shit? There's your dervish. This black ass nigga spinning around.
Fade away, leaving us forever unsatisfied. The rhythm in our very veins. Fade away, leaving us forever unsatisfied. The rhythm in our very veins. Evidently the Moroccan version of I'm Making Faces. The Chews, those weird little dancing boys like figures in a frieze. Dancing boys.
Man, I think that nigga was in drag, man. That nigga looking kind of a little sweet, man. Then he got these little orphan ass niggas sitting down here giggling and shit. Hey, man, this nigga got on a dress, don't he?
Very veins. Evidently the Moroccan version of I'm Making Faces. Evidently the satisfied. The rhythm in our very veins. Evidently the Moroccan version of I'm Making Faces. The Chews, those weird little dancing boys like figures in a frieze. Every turn of the crooked cobbled streets reveals new scenes of seething native industry. The Moor is proud of his pottery, which is entirely handmade and is worked into a variety of beautiful shapes. Mats with fantastic designs are woven in Morocco. No, the barber's clipper didn't slip. He likes his hair cut that way. No, the barber's clipper.
Now, he taught, and I didn't notice this last time, and it's very interesting, bro. And I tell you, man, the Most High works in mysterious ways. I remember. Hold on one second, man. Hold on. Stand by, stand by.
Yep. Wild Indian, yeah.
Hey V, line them up.
I'm a wild Indian, you know I go crazy. Ain't really Indian, that boy fugazi. I just keep it player, you can never play me. You got an ass so fat, girl, let's make a baby. And another one. Then I'm back to the trap, I'm trying to double some. She a bad woke chick and I love her tongue. We some jurisdiction boys, we some 101s. Look, don't compare me to no Martin dog, I'm like Malcolm X. Die by our freedom, we'll leave a crack a stretch. Round of applause, boy, you know we clapping text. Chucky dog, child play, yeah, nigga, that's what's next. Open up the cans just like Arizona. Pull up mad stuff like we got the Rona. We set up jurisdictions when we buy the Kona. How you claiming that's your hood and you not the owner? Be the B, I just pulled up in the need for speed. Free the land, tell the colonizers that they need to leave. Wild Indian up in my veins, you know how we bleed. You ain't gotta lie about who we is, dog, just keep it G. We at war, we can't keep the peace. Since we at war, gotta keep the peace. Whack a cone, then I meditate. Should I need to breathe? Keep a Olmec head when we slide, dog, cause we the shit.
Like my niggas said, bitch, we the shit. I can't keep the peace. If it pop off, then I want a piece. I'm just on release. I'm in go mode, motherfuck the thief. In these streets like EBT, when we at war, make peace with me. I don't give a damn, understand. Fuck who stole this land, white or black or tan. Understand, it's fuck who stole this land. Might have seen me get little buddy these hands. He wasn't no abo man. A lot of these dudes is Sambo man. They full of shit like my ammo can. What they call an N-word out the wrong mouth as an ambulance. Wild Indian, get it in advance, or you can post date it. Ask around, I'm the most hated. Straight sacred, they stole acres. Go ape shit, show ain't shit. It won't be televised, I don't take shit.
Be the B, I just pulled up in the need for speed. Free the land, tell the colonizers that they need to leave. Wild Indian up in my veins, you know how we bleed. You ain't gotta lie about who we is, dog, just keep it G. We at war, we can't keep the peace. Since we at war, gotta keep the peace. Whack a cone, then I meditate. Should I need to breathe? Keep a Olmec head when we slide, dog, cause we the shit.
Big chief shit going on over here, man. Ain't that right, boo? Ain't that right? Oh my. Yeah, it's not like y'all. I'm in this one. You smell good. You smell so good, baby. You want to see? You want to see yourself? I had pressing issues, man. You know what I mean? It's real in the field.
Didn't slip. He likes his hair cut that way. It's a
Because you're going to smell my cologne. Instant and Yaki. On the bar number 9. Because I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Tabernacle, sanctuary. Because we keep God first in everything we do.
Hey.
No, the barber's clipper didn't slip. He likes his hair cut that way. It's a Eugenie bob. After the mats are woven and washed, they are spread in the sun to dry. The street of silence. The madrasa, or university, with its heart.
My bad, y'all. But this is the love of my life right here. Get right, baby. Get right. Yeah, baby. My name Maya. I got the same name as Buddha Mama. Yeah, you Jesus Mama. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, Big Mama. You Big Mama already, little mama. I love you. I love you. Yeah. Look at them people. I want to show them people your face. You're so beautiful and alive. I love you forever, girl. So what I was saying was, yeah, man, she a young Atlantean, man. She know who she is. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. I know who I am. Daddy told me who I am. Yeah, baby. I don't need no book. My daddy told me. Yeah. My daddy ain't gonna lie to me. Yeah. Talk to him. You wanna say something? Go ahead, get it out. What? Anyway, man. So they just showed dude having a mohawk. And I remember when I was young, and I'm sorry y'all didn't hear me, and you know that I'm goddamn, you know, doing what I gotta do, but tribe. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. I had cut my hair in a mohawk. And one of the Muslim brothers told me, you can't wear your hair like that, brother. Because that's the hairstyle of the enemies of the prophet. Mohawks? But I'm an Indian. And this was, you know, I've been on the Indian shit since I was young. You know what I mean? Like, so that's why I had a mohawk. I had a mohawk, boy. No nigga rocking no mohawk. That shit wasn't even cool. Real, my nigga in Milwaukee tattooed Young LA. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day. And all them Atlanta niggas didn't even have mohawks yet. But he came and tatted them, and I had my mohawk. My shit was fire too. I had motherfucking spider webs cut on the side of that bitch. But you know, I was on my tattoo rock star shit. And long story short, Muslim brothers was like, you can't wear your hair like that. That's the hairstyle of the Quraysh tribes who were the enemies of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of God be upon him. And I'm talking about the Prophet Muhammad 570 AD. I know this weird shit you niggas be talking about. And I cut my mohawk off. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't representing. I ain't the enemy. If I even look like the enemy, nigga. You know what I'm saying? We forget rid of that shit. But it was my brother Ibrahim. And now he from Liberia, African brother. You know what I'm saying? Muslim, pray with niggas. You know what I'm saying? Shit different when you bow down and submit yourself, you know what I'm saying, to something greater than yourself with your brothers. That shit different, bro. Niggas, that shit just different, bro. I don't give a fuck what none of these niggas say, bro. That shit different, bro. Ain't for everybody, though.
The birds of prey are the owl, the vulture, the eagle, and the hawk. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
But I remember what the nigga said to me because I was still young, finding myself in this shit. You know what I'm saying? Still trying to balance my right from my wrong, because remember, Islam is a middle path. And through all my studies and what I learned, you know, because it says, it calls it the way in the Quran. It's a culture. The way. And it say in the Quran, it say, today I have chosen for you. It say, today I have perfected for you your religion. I have chosen for you Islam. Now that's the translation. But the word is that it translates to, I've chosen for you your culture. You know what I'm saying? Which is peace. But you got these Nazis telling you what it means. That ain't of you. You know what I'm talking about? We already identified in Keys to Atlantis 1 that the Geechee is saying Al-Fatiha is part of their culture. Press 1.
Because you're going to smell my cologne. Intimate on some bar number 9. Because I do not pray.
That's St. Clair Eyewear.
Tabernacle, sanctuary. Because we keep God first in everything we do.
But that brother Ibrahim from Liberia said some real shit to me, man. And then niggas say, Brother Kadu, why did you cut your hair? I said, man, they said I had the hairstyle of the enemy of the prophet, bro. He said, no. Brother, are you the enemy of the prophet? I was like, no, you know I ain't the enemy of the prophet. He said, then why would you cut your hair? He said, everything that you are is a sign. Those tattoos on your face, you a sign. Never worried about what them niggas had to say about how I looked ever again. He said, brother, is it against the Quran? I said, no, it's not against the Quran. Then how could you be wrong?
Talk to the house of Israel for a minute, huh? If you're really serious and you're looking for a Christ man, the one who anointed with the Lord, with the Spirit of the Lord to do his will, I'm that nigga. You not stop faking.
Made and is worked into a variety of beautiful shapes. Mats with fantastic designs are woven in Morocco. No, the barber's clipper didn't slip. He likes his hair cut that way. It's a Eugenie bob. After the mat, he likes his hair cut that way. It's a Eugenie bob. No, the barber's clipper didn't slip. He likes his hair cut that way. It's a Eugenie bob. After the mats are woven and washed, they are spread in the sun to dry. The street of silence. The madrasa, or university, with its harmonizing mosaics. where the teachings are given by priests chosen by the people. Only boys are allowed to attend. With its harmonizing mosaics, where the teachings are given by priests chosen by the people. Only boys are allowed to attend. A gruesome past haunts the Gate of the Heads. Here, up to a few years ago, the severed heads of victims of war were hung. Here, up to a few years ago, the severed heads of victims of war were hung. Here, up to a few years ago, the severed heads of victims of war were hung. Baskets in which to send the sinister relics to other towns were made in the shadow of the grim walls. And as you see, the industry thus begun still goes on.
Y'all ever seen anybody else weaving the shit out some baskets? I digress.
A gray-bearded storyteller is recounting the immemorial happenings that have grown classic in the telling, while motionless, his enraptured listeners drink in the magic tale, lost in a maze of brilliant adventures far removed from their own drab lives.
Now, in the time of the prophet, peace and blessing God be upon him, these same singers that they showing now was basically his competition. And they would sing and tell made up stories. And because he could recite the Quran off cap, they couldn't understand how this nigga was coming so thorough, like where he was coming with it. So now that, you know, they got these weird ass Shriners, Sufi, mystic, dervish ass niggas here, now they doing away with Islam. All right. So this ain't no Islam going on in this motherfucker. Not what we seen. Because damn near everything they showing is what they call shirk in Islam, associating partners with God. They should be studying the Quran at the mosque. They over here giggling and shit.
Listeners drink in the magic tale, lost in a maze of brilliant adventures, far removed from their own drab lives. The Tuhib, native doctor, sits by the wayside awaiting victims, shall we say. Hyena's head ground to powder is but one of the strange cures. Victims, shall we say. Native doctor sits. The Tuhib, native doctor, sits by the wayside awaiting victims, shall we say.
The native doctor. He know the herbs and all that shit. So that's the same reason you had the Muslim nigga coming through here, everybody running behind him, following him. You know how to cook up. Press 1.
Of brilliant adventures far removed from their own drab lives. The Tuhib, native doctor, sits by the wayside awaiting victims, shall we say. Hyena's head ground to powder is but one of the strange cures. Water for irrigation purposes is raised by means of wheels with revolving buckets, such as this. Now for a visit to some ruins, but not the kind of ruins you expect. No. Here we see the ruin of some perfectly good linen at the the feet of the Moorish laundryman. This is where the town washes its dirt.
Now, you see this propaganda? After they done came in, stole all the motherfucking maps, all the jewelry, everything. Now this is a Moor. Because they done killed all the Muslims, all the Mutaqin, all the God-fearing. Niggas, stop pretending like you know something about my motherfucking culture before I pull up on you. And if the motherfucking moccasin fits, put that motherfucker on. Press 1.
Because you going to smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki on some bar number 9, because I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Tabernacle, sanctuary, because we keep God first in everything we do.
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. I'm going to tell you something, self, the motherfucking...
Dirty linen. Rough washing, we might call it. Here's the answer to a moot question. Where did our laundries become so expert in putting saw edges on collars and tearing buttons off shirts? They're not all Chinamen. No, the others must have learned their trade in Morocco. The lattice-covered streets, with the sunlight piercing through in spots and patches, cast...
I'm not gonna listen to this racist ass honky. Goddamn pretend like niggas is some motherfucking peasants, uncivilized, no technology. You see what they did to us? We looked at all the motherfucking Algerian, Moroccan motherfuckers before these goddamn pale-faced Turks came in, spinning around, dancing, playing music and shit, talking about they Muslim. Ain't now one of them motherfuckers had on a goddamn turban. Press 1.
The birds of prey are the owl, the vulture, the eagle, and the hawk. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
Stupid bitch. It's not of competition, it's of cooperation. Stupid ass house nigga.
We have style, we got flavor, we got rhythm. I mean, the black man in America is the most copied man on this planet, bar none. Everybody want to be a nigga, but nobody want to be a nigga. How about that question?
Might need a mop bucket, Glock 40 on me, I'm up it, walk through the crowd like fuck it, nigga drip on slip and fall, might need a mop bucket, big booty bitch, she lucky, touching all on me in public.
But change your motherfucking mindset. You wanna know why you ain't got shit? Cause you ain't thinking about shit. I come out the door every day with this shit on my mind. I'm gonna give me a bag. Fuck wrong with you? I'm gonna give me some cash. Change your motherfucking mindset, man. You think pennies, you get pennies. Bitch, I'm thinking dollars.
Believe however you wanna, huh? There's only one God. There's only one blood covenant book that's floating around here of God Almighty.